Hello everyone. Now I'll be talking to you regarding Gordon syndrome. This is also known as Pseudohypoaldosteronism Type II or so-called PHA2. Well, first of all, let's say what's the definition, what is it? It's a rare, autosomal dominant. It means it is an inherited disorder. Okay. It is characterized by hypertension, hyperkalemia, and normal anion gap metabolic acidosis, so-called NAGMA, with normal or low aldosterone level. Usually aldosterone level is on the lower side. So we are talking about autosomal dominant, hypertension, hyperkalemia, NAGMA, and low aldosterone level. Now, what happened? It's caused by increased sodium chloride reabsorption in DCT due to mutation in affective WNK gene. What is this? I'm going to explain to you in the next slide. So this leads to volume expansion, and that leads to impaired potassium excretion also, and volume expansion lead to hypertension. This is the nutshell of what happened in Gordon syndrome, but how it happened that I'm going to discuss now. So let's learn what is the normal physiology of the early part of DCT. Point to note, Gordon syndrome is part of early DCT. So I have made this, the horizontal part, much bigger just to have a clarity of the concept. So we can see this early DCT and sodium chloride are absorbed here. And we all know this part is impermeable to water. Here water is not absorbed. Well, some amount of this lumen of the urine, and now the remaining urine and with sodium come to collecting tubule. This is collecting tubule. Now, whatever sodium has come like this, it is getting reabsorbed under the influence of normal, of aldosterone, A for aldosterone. Remember, I am talking about normal physiology. So normally one H ion goes out and one potassium goes out. Why? Two positive particles have entered the cell, and to neutralize this electrostatic imbalance, one positive one and one K has to go out. Now I have a question for you. Write down the answer in your copy. This potassium goes out via which channel? And which cell secrete H ion? And sodium is reabsorbed by which cell? So there are three questions for you. Quickly write down the answer. First question, potassium goes out via which channel? Second question is, H ion is secreted by which cell? And sodium is reabsorbed by which cell? Quickly write down. Well, I'm sure by now you have written the answer. Potassium goes out via ROMK channel. H ion is secreted by alpha intercalated cell. And Na is reabsorbed by principal cell. It's a very, very important question. Well, now we move further. Well, as I told you, some amount of sodium remain in the lumen and reaches the collecting tubule, as I showed you in the previous. ENaC absorbs sodium. Of course, the sodium which was absorbed, it is why ENaC. ENaC is the channel. Point to note it, ENaC channel absorb only sodium, not chloride. Okay. Potassium is secreted by ROMK, I told you, and Potassium is secreted by alpha in integrated cell, the point I discussed in the previous slide. So normal discharge sodium delivery excretes potassium and H ion in the collecting tubule. This is normal physiology. Now let us see what happened in Gordon syndrome. There is a mutation in WNK1 and WNK4 genes. Now what they do? What they do is what we learned due to this mutation, and remember we read this sodium chloride is absorbed by NCC channel. The point I discussed in the very early slides, that in the early part, this is early part of DCT, and sodium chloride are absorbed by NCC. Now, if mutation occurs in these gene, W and K, then large amount of sodium chloride is reabsorbed. Excess of NaCl getting reabsorbed. If excess of NaCl is getting absorbed here only, now amount of sodium reaching the collecting tubule is much less. Majority has already been absorbed at early part of DCT. Now less sodium is there. So definitely when less sodium is there, less sodium will be reabsorbed in collecting tubule, obviously. If sodium is not coming in, okay, so definitely H ion will not be secreted out. Potassium will not be secreted out because sodium is not coming in. So there is nothing to neutralize electrically. So this is the reason in these patients hyperkalemia occurs. And H ion not going out, H ion remain in the body, it leads to non-anion gap metabolic acidosis. So, okay, non-anion gap metabolic acidosis. So now we understood why hyperkalemia occurs, why non-anion metabolic acidosis occur. But let us see what is happening here. Large amount of sodium chloride is getting reabsorbed here. And this will lead to increase sodium in the body, in the blood, sodium and chloride in the blood. And that is the reason why they develop hypertension. This is the reason why they develop hypertension, because of large amount of NaCl is there. Okay, so we are clear about excess activation of NCC, more sodium is reabsorbed in DCT, less sodium reaches in collecting tubule. This is all due to mutation in W and K. Now ENaC receive less sodium. ENaC is epithelial sodium channels. Epithelial sodium channel, they absorb only sodium, nothing else. Chloride is not absorbed by this channel. So less sodium has come to collecting tubule, less sodium in principal cell, potassium secretion fails. The point I mentioned, it lead to hyperkalemia, and that ultimately this lead to hyperkalemia. H ion secretion fail, that lead to non-anion gap metabolic acidosis, so-called NAGMA. These basic concepts are already clear to you. So having learned the basic physiology and pathophysiology, the golden line to remember about Gordon syndrome, this produces hyperkalemic metabolic acidosis due to despite normal kidney function. There is no problem in kidney function as such, but still it produces hyperkalemia. So with this background, reason of hypertension, I already explained to you. However, now you can even write down also for the reason NCC is overactive. Why? Because of mutation in WNK. Okay. More sodium is retained in early part of DCT, and that lead to extracellular volume expansion. BP rises. So this is the reason why hypertension occur. What else? Now volume expansion. Now when volume expansion has occurred, renin level will be reduced, aldosterone level will be reduced. So Gordon syndrome is a case of low renin hypertension. This is a very frequently asked question. Low renin hypertension. Okay. Now we move on to the next point regarding the clinical feature of Gordon syndrome. Now that my job is very simple because most of the things you know, hypertension. What is special? Early childhood or adolescent. You are getting a child of maybe about 8 to 10 years with severe hypertension. So definitely you have to suspect what's the reason hypertension in the age of 7 to 8 or 10 years. Hyperkalemia, the point you know why it happened, and that lead to muscle weakness and arrhythmias. We all know that muscle weakness and arrhythmia are the feature of hyperkalemia. Now, I have a question for you. Write down the answer in your copy. What happens regarding, of course, this is a cardiac muscle problem and it may be a cardiac problem in hyperkalemia. Please write down the answer in your copy. What's the problem of hypokalemia in the cardiac and muscle? What happened in heart and in the muscle when hypokalemia occurs? Write down the answer in your copy. Well, I'm sure by now you have written it. Yes. So, again, you see muscle weakness and arrhythmias. Point to be noted in hyperkalemia and hypokalemia, the features are same. They both lead to muscle weakness and arrhythmia. Detail you can see in my lecture of electrolyte imbalance. What is the mechanism of this? So now how to diagnose? Well, you got a child of maybe 7 to 8 years. Child, you will find hyperkalemia, normal anion gap metabolic acid, so-called NAGMA. Reason you know. Renin and aldosterone level both are reduced. So if these features are going on and there's a family history, remember it's a case of autosomal dominant condition. A strong family history will be there. Genetic testing, you have to do it if you want to confirm that this is due to mutation WNK1, WNK4, the gene which are causing this problem. How to treat thiazide diuretics? The first line therapy to reduce NCC activity and correct hypertension, hyperkalemia, and acidosis. Now, again, I have a question for you. Why thiazide? Why not furosemide? Or why not spironolactone? Write down the answer in your copy. Well, the answer is, this is what I told you. This is the early part of DCT. Early part of DCT where the main problem was happening. In fact, this part in way and the channel are NCC. These NCC channels are sensitive to thiazide only. They are also known as thiazide sensitive NCC. That's why thiazide is a drug of choice in this. Okay. So now you understood why thiazide. Low potassium diet is a mandatory, definitely. That hyperkalemia is already there, so you have to give low potassium diet. Okay. Then now if I tell you what are the common food which are rich in potassium like banana, coconut, citrus fruit, they are very rich in potassium. This is all about Gordon syndrome. I hope your concept of Gordon syndrome are very clear to you. Quick recall questions. Question will come in your screen. You see the answer. Of course, answer will come. Yeah. What's the other name? Pseudohypoaldosteronism Type II. Which transporter is overactive in Gordon syndrome? NCC, sodium chloride co-transporter. Which gene are commonly mutated in Gordon syndrome? WNK1, WNK4. Which characteristic potassium abnormality occur in Gordon syndrome? Very simple question. Hyperkalemia. Which acid-base disorder is seen? Again simple. Non-anion gap metabolic acidosis, NAGMA. What happened to BP in Gordon syndrome? Hypertension. What happened to renin level in Gordon syndrome? Decreased. What happened to aldosterone level in Gordon syndrome? It is low or reduced. So I hope you could answer all the questions on Gordon syndrome. The subject is so simple. Well, friends, I have smart medicine videos. This lecture is a part of my video of smart medicine, which has 350 hours of complete medicine recorded in integrated way. Integrated way, every topic has been recorded in the integrated way, covering A to Z. Like in this topic also, I covered physiology, pathophysiology, pharma, then medicine, pediatric, everything has been covered up. So my idea of teaching is integrated way, a topic, not subject. Whatever is there, you can, and you don't need to read anything about this topic from any other source. Okay. Well, you want to see more free videos of my smart medicine, you can contact my staff, you can click the photo. You can request them to send more videos, they will send you free of cost. But still, if you have any query, you want to contact me, it's my personal WhatsApp number. We are available to you, accessible to you. I hope you have noted down the number or click the photo. I hope you all enjoyed the class. Thank you.